They claim that Kirk is banned from Romania after being accused of child trafficking. Is this right?
For people to think that Erika Kirk is somehow in a pedophilic ring or something of that nature is so bizarre and evil, is crazy to me. Like and subscribe to the channel, hit the bell to get notifications anytime I go live and make a video. Y'all already know what to do. Let's get into this.
They say, a week is a long time in politics, and how things have changed just in the past few years. And, one of the things that just makes you really stand out is that you've actually been consistent in your values and speaking out about them. And one of those areas has been as parts of the right have descended into the pit of anti-Semitism and crazed conspiracy theories and all this kind of stuff, particularly around Erika Kirk, which is just insane. And so my question is, before we talk about the specific figures and understand what's going on there, let's just try and just zoom out for a second. What is your assessment as to why this has happened? Why are we seeing all this anti-Semitism and anti-Israel rhetoric rising on the right, conservative right now? Because I always thought, well, it's always going to be much more of a problem on the left because it can cover itself in virtue. I just care about the Palestinians, so that can go on the New York Times. But, neo-Nazi stuff isn't going to get a seat on Fox News because it's just culturally unacceptable. But slowly, it's kind of coming more in there.
I think it's really the devil. I think the devil has captured the minds of a lot of people, and it doesn't matter what side you're on if you're captured. That means on this side you weaponize empathy, on this side you have your weaponization on this side as well, no matter if you're right or left. I mean, if you believe in God and you have a relationship with God, you read your Bible. If you're reading not unless you read the Torah or the Bible, like the Christian Bible where we have the New Testament and the Old Testament together, if you're reading the book, there's no way on God's green earth that you can have the perception and you can look at the world like the far left or the far right. To have these unjustifiable, unverified claims against Israel is asinine. For people to think that Erika Kirk is somehow in a pedophilic ring or something of that nature is so bizarre and evil, is crazy to me. If you're interested, if you're a bourbon drinker, I'm not telling you to go and drink the whole bottle, but you're a bourbon drinker, you like to sip on it every now and again, this is the best bourbon you will buy. You will never in your life find a bourbon this smooth, this flavorful, this full body for $59.99. You will never, I promise you. If you somehow do it, I'll give your money back. There's the guilty and not guilty. The guilty is a straight bourbon, 6-year aged, and the not guilty is 6-year aged, but it's with the hint of brown sugar in it, and it's absolutely phenomenal to sip right over rocks. And also, you could take it and put it in an old fashioned. Let's get to a couple reviews. If you look at the reviews, you can see what people are thinking. Majority of these are 5 stars. I don't even think I had to go to the last page. There's 8 pages now. It was 6. Most of the reviews are 5-star. Read it, and then make the determination if you want to get it. You must be 21 and you must drink responsibly. For people to think that Erika Kirk is somehow in a pedophilic ring or something of that nature is so bizarre and evil, is crazy to me. And, because Erika works with our church when it comes to sex trafficking rescue. She's been connected to our church when it comes to sex trafficking rescue. We have the biggest sex trafficking rescue. I could say the facility is one of the biggest. The movement that we have at our church, Dream City Church, is the biggest in the country. And my wife and I donate and support the church in it. We know they're not doing nothing crazy. Luke Barnett is our pastor. Tommy Barnett has established Dream City Church, the Dream Center, and all this for the last, I don't know how many years. He's 80 years old now and still preaching and still in the movement. So for people to insinuate certain things, it's got to be either evil. It's evil to start with, but I think that they're being influenced by the devil. I cannot see that anyone with common sense or relationship with God would even believe what they believe. The Israel thing is crazy to me. I don't understand, dude. Like, you cannot like what Israel is doing as a government. I don't like what our government do half of the time. That's totally normal and fine. You can have critiques of the war, right? You say, you can have your critiques on Benjamin Netanyahu, the execution of the war. You can say, I don't like the fact that the war lasted that long. I think that, you can have your critiques, but people that go far beyond that to say that the Jews run America, the Jews did 9/11, the Jews can't win. Like, the Jews killed Jesus. It goes down this crazy rabbit hole that I think is insane to me, to be quite.
I obviously completely agree. And as you can see, my dear viewers, you can see how courageous and morally clear Brandon is about all of this. And you're such a breath of fresh air. Let's unpack this a bit more. First of all, you're saying that it's evil and it's the devil. I mean, I very much resonate with that. But is there a way that we can diagnose that a bit more in terms of how it manifests? Because the Satan will utilize the most negative emotions within us. And, so what kind of emotions do you think are driving this? Like, is it resentment, envy? What's driving that? And what is the pathway for people who are stuck in this rut to help people come out of that and see the light?
Yeah, I think Satan is very cunning. Satan is not, in my opinion, this red figure with bull horns on his head. Satan manifested in the Garden of Eden as a serpent, very cunning. And Satan uses elements of truth to then expose a bigger manipulation into a lie, right? When Adam and Eve were in the Garden of Eden, and Satan said, if you eat from this forbidden tree, your eyes will be open to good and evil, right? And you will become like God. He wasn't lying. But what he didn't tell them was what was the negative effects and how would that terminate the existence of humanity, and now we're headed towards a path of death. He gave a little bit of truth in order to manipulate a person into a complete devastating lie. And I think that the devil will work with whatever abilities a person has in order to help them be the best manipulator that they can. Some people are operating off envy. Some people are operating off jealousy. Some people are operating on revenge. Some people are operating on pure evilness. And it just really depends on the person and what their attributes are, that the devil can use it to his advantage. So they're essentially working together with different talents. It's almost like the Avengers of hatred and evilness that's destroying our country, your country. I mean, I don't know if you live in the UK, but it's destroying the world, in my personal opinion. And the only way out is to have a real relationship with God. That's the only way out of this for people. And if people don't believe in God, they have no chance anyway. But if you believe in God, the only way out is to really take your own biases aside, pick up the book, and read what the Lord said. Read what the prophets said. Read what Abraham said, the promises to Abraham. You read your Bible, and it should give you a perspective to come out of the rut. A lot of this, and I'll say, and I hate to say this, but I believe this with my whole heart. It starts from hatred of Israel, and everything devolves from there. You are susceptible to any lie.
Go on. Can you elaborate on that a bit more?
Yeah. So like when I watched the denigration of influencers that I used to like, that I thought at one point were very prominent and reasonable, and I see the denigration that don't just involve Israel alone. It degrades to falsehoods and false realities and manipulation in every other aspect of society. And I think it all starts from hatred of Israel. I think it all starts from turning your back on God and God's people, and then God opens you to a reprobated mind, which means that you're then susceptible to any conspiracy and any lie and any level of deception that's out there that a person can be involved with or be manipulated by. I see the same people that hate Israel and have an unjustifiable hatred towards Israel, that they then are creating falsehoods about Donald Trump and about the government. And they're overzealous about Epstein and they're talking about Erika Kirk and believing lies about, you know, they don't even believe that we got the killer in Charlie Kirk's assassination. Like it's just, you see it devolve on every single level, and the behavior is not academic, it's not reasonable with empathy, it's hatred, it's revenge, it's narcissism, it's, you see these traits coming out of just very mean-spirited behavior by everyone that I've seen that's involved in the start, you know, in the starting point of hating Israel unjustifiably.